200,000 subscribers. What do most YouTubers do for milestones? Why make a Q&A? Since the last time I did this was over 4 years ago, it's about darn time I updated it. I split questions into 5 categories: channel, life, other media, video games, and TF2. I'm answering these unscripted, unlike this portion, so get ready for some not so eloquently put answers.
Channel questions. Where did the name Skymin come from? So the name Skymin actually came from the Pokemon Shaymin. Shaymin has a sky form that's named the sky form of Shaymin. But I was like, alright, so Shaymin, I really like Shaymin, but I can't just do Shaymin. The sky form, we'll shove Skymin in there. I need something else because Skymin isn't working, it's been taken. The sky form of Shaymin can learn Air Slash. SkyminSlash. That's where my name came from. No, it's not Skyrim. Who inspired you to start YouTube? My original inspiration for YouTube was Chugga Conroy. I really enjoyed and respected the effort he put into his Let's Plays, and I actually originally wanted to start a channel to do my own Let's Plays because I really like the informative style. Well, obviously, the Let's Plays didn't go in. You can tell that my style is more informative and analytical, so I think I still kind of took a little bit from Chugga Conroy's sort of style. It's just in a different format. I'm not playing through games completely. I realized really quickly I didn't have the discipline to do that, so that was my main inspiration. Which video are you most proud of? I would definitely say the Why the Mercenaries Are Amazing Characters video, which I think I probably just got the title of my own video incorrect. I want to say the longest and hardest I put effort into a video, because there are videos that I have done over multiple weeks, but there wasn't a whole lot of effort put into each session. That was like 5 straight days of 8-hour sessions trying to just get that video done. That was probably, honestly, my magnum opus for TF2. That was where a lot of my love for the game and the series and the characters went into, since I'm mainly in it for the characters, guys. What video do you hate the most? Well, that one's a little hard, because I hate a lot of my old commentary videos, I'm not gonna lie. For an answer for this, I guess just a lot of my older gameplay commentary. I much prefer and am more proud of my video essays. I really don't like the live commentary. I don't know, honestly, I don't know why people liked it in the first place. I am not a great live commentary YouTuber. It's really not my thing. Favorite and least favorite parts of being a YouTuber? I guess my favorite would be I get validation for my opinions. As somebody who grew up kinda ostracized at high school, elementary, middle school, those schools, it's nice to see that there are a lot more people out there who share not only my opinions, but my likes and dislikes for things. So that's really nice. As for least favorite, people treating me like a god. I'm just a normal human being, guys. I'm not a god. And, you know, of course, the occasional harassment, stream sniping, stuff like that, hard focusing. There's a reason I generally go aliasing when I go and play games. On the accounts that I can alias, because, man, some of those accounts do not let you change your name. What's your process for getting video ideas? Honestly, I just sit there and think. That's really it. I sit there and go, what do I want to make a video on? Where can I adopt a Sky Mini? I have merch, guys. Look, it's above me. You can get your very own Sky Mini sticker and some other... This is a merch plug if you couldn't figure it out. What keeps you motivated to do YouTube? Well, there's 2 main ones, and I'm gonna be frank with you guys. One is practicing skills. It's nice to just keep those skills going, get better at them. And the second, honestly, the revenue. Right now, if you don't know, this is my job. So this is what I've been putting my focus into since the beginning of the year. Do you ever deal with video game creation / burnout? Now that you're starting to do variety content, what are your plans? Hopefully more variation in video essays. It's just really hard to keep that motivation when I put a lot of effort into, say, a video that's not TF2 related and it doesn't do well because the algorithm decides, hey, this isn't worth pushing. But if it's got TF2 in it, oh, that's coming from you, we're gonna push that hard as hell. So it's a little hard to keep motivation when they end up doing really poorly, even though the statistics seem to be either the same or arguably better, especially in watch time. It's really weird. I don't understand the algorithm. And yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping to do more opinion pieces on games, but it kind of just depends on how everything goes. Do you see yourself making content other than video essays in any significant capacity in the future? My kind of stride is in the video essay stuff. I'm a lot better at scripted things, as you can probably tell by this Q&A that I'm just sort of improving. I've got, like, you know, the answers in my head, but I don't have a script I'm looking at. So I haven't really thought about different kinds of content. I have considered doing videos on shows. I actually watch a lot of shows, but I've just never really talked about them outside of streams, and I do have opinions, very strong opinions on certain shows. I've just never gotten around to it. Plus, once you get into making videos about movies and TV shows, that gets really easily copyright claimed. I don't know if I really want to put effort into making something that's just gonna inevitably get grabbed by, like, Viacom or something. Are you gonna keep doing TF2 content? I would like to refer you to my expectations video. That kinda gives you a decent idea of where my headspace is for TF2 content. We're gonna get to some more answers to that later, but for right now, you know, if you haven't seen it, pause the video, go watch it. It's a little bit lengthy, but it's kind of important to my channel and my mental well-being. But yeah. Life questions! How has the current state of the world impacted you and your content this past year? It actually didn't really come to affect me until about January. My internship ended up ending at the end of last year, and I have yet to be able to find a job despite having been looking since, like, July. So that's kind of where I'm at. This is my only form of income right now, so, you know, that's fun. If you're a fellow content creator, you know how stressful that is. What has been your favorite cosplay you've done? I have quite a few favorites. In terms of just fun in the clothing department and the costume department, Handsome Jack was a lot of fun. I despise the makeup going into that. If you never knew, I don't wear makeup normally. You will never see me with makeup on unless it is for a costume that I have to have. I've also done the 11th Doctor, which is probably the most comfortable costume. Definitely my go-to when I want to go to a convention, be in a costume but still be comfortable. But in terms of, like, absolute most fun, that would definitely be Marasmus. I did Marasmus a few times in the past. Unfortunately, I can't do it anymore because during moving, my skull topper kind of got crushed. When I did Marasmus, I actually got my friend Lunar Scythe, who used to be known as Marasmus Mighty, who does a really, really good Marasmus impression. I got him to do a few lines for me, got a basket, decorated it, and painted some bonus ducks, and started giving them out to people who recognized who I was. Cosplay's fun, guys. Sand, yes or no?
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Do you speak any other languages than English? Considering how wonky I can be with my English sometimes, you would think it's not my native language, but no, it is, and I don't speak another language. Sorry!
Most fun event you've attended? Oof, I go to a lot of conventions, so that's a tough one. The two I'd probably say were MomoCon in 2018, where my friend and I snuck around the convention center trying to find a place for him to make some grilled cheeses. Don't ask what that was about. The second was SGDQ 2019, which I attended with a friend who got a run-in. It didn't go well, but I have other reasons for keeping that event in my heart.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Other media. What's your favorite cartoon/show? Like I said earlier, I watch a lot of shows, which includes a lot of cartoons. So, I guess I'm just gonna list off some in no particular order. Ed, Edd n Eddy, favorite childhood show, definitely. Venture Brothers, fantastic show, especially if you like Team Fortress 2. I highly, highly recommend Venture Brothers. It is a fantastic show. Steven Universe, fantastic show. Despite, you know, the issues with the fandom. There's a lot of shows that I really enjoy, but those are the ones that come off the top of my head, like, immediately. What's your favorite genre of music? Is it cheating to say video game music? Is that cheating? If it is, I'm gonna go with jazz. Favorite band? Like I said, I like video game music, so I don't listen to a lot of bands. But I do listen to Beatles. Beatles is probably my favorite band of all time. Video game questions. What's your favorite childhood game? If we're defining childhood game as in a game we played from the childhood that we might not necessarily play now or really have access to now, I guess Fusion Fall. I know Fusion Fall Retro, which is a community project to bring back Fusion Fall, is a thing, but it's definitely not a game that I would really sink hours and hours into right now. What game do you think everyone should give a chance or is underrated? I made a video on a game that I think people should give a chance. Yeah, it's got terrible monetization, but you can ignore it. It's totally playable. If you're interested, the video that I have currently shoved right here somewhere. Actually, no, it's probably in a car. Listen, I don't know how annotations aren't even a thing anymore. What am I talking about? I'll put it in the description, okay? Here's a thumbnail. It's down there. Go check it out. What's your favorite single-player game? I'd say Portal 2. There's a lot of single-player games that I enjoy, but Portal 2 was also my formal introduction into Valve's properties, and Portal 2 is a fantastic game. I'm sure most of you know that. What's an objectively bad game that you still enjoy? How many Sonic games count in this category? Because Sonic Adventure's probably not a good game anymore. But I like it, along with Adventure 2. Before TF2, what was the game you were most invested in? That was probably Pokemon, if not a lot of Nintendo stuff like Mario. A lot of general stuff. I was a Nintendo kid growing up, so it probably was Pokemon, but that's kind of a guess on my part. I played a lot of games. Is there a specific game genre you enjoy playing? Not particularly. It matters if the game has personality. To me, what brings me into a game is an identity in the themes and the humor and the style it goes for. That's actually why I got into TF2, but we're gonna get into that later. Favorite game with friends? You think I have friends? TF2 questions. How'd you get into TF2? I was introduced to Meet the Medic through some YouTube recommendations years ago, like shortly after it had come out. So I saw that, really liked it, decided to download it on my Mac, proceeded to just battle Medic, didn't do great. Played about 4 hours and then I put it down for like no discernible reason. I don't even think it was because I was terrible at it. Then months later, a YouTuber I watched put out a video, I think, on like ranking the 9 classes, and that really got me interested, and that's when I really started, and that was around the time of Man vs. Machine dropping, I believe. Like I keep saying, I was in TF2 for the characters. I loved the characters and the humor, not necessarily the gameplay. I actually had a vendetta against first-person shooters prior to getting into TF2, so if that tells you how much the characters appealed to me, that should give you a good idea. How do you not get burned out or get bored of TF2? If TF2 had not existed, what game do you think you'd be playing? Probably still be playing just a bunch of Nintendo. Man, it is not a good time to be a Nintendo fan. What's your worst experience in TF2? First time I tried to get into a more competitive, serious side of TF2, I joined a pug in TF2 lobby, I believe, as medic on a Badwater Basin match, and I basically got harassed and yelled at by this super try-hardy guy who, as soon as I started talking, just kept calling me trash and all that jazz. That was years ago. Although it did kind of scar me, and I didn't pick up a TF2 lobby game for years to come. I finally had to get a friend to convince me to join with him in a group of friends where, you know, it minimized the amount of randoms that we would have had to queue into. Yeah, that was my worst experience. It wasn't a fun time. How much do you actually like TF2? So this is actually a bit of a hard question to answer, because my opinions currently have changed drastically to, say, a few years ago. And the reason, again, I will put up right here the unattainable expectations of a content creator that I made a few months ago, basically explains everything. Again, if you haven't, please watch it. I love TF2 to death. I love the characters, I love the world, I love the charm. Listen, if I talked about it here, we'd be sitting here for an extra 30 minutes. I love TF2, I hate the state it's in, but I've also come to have some form of disdain for it due to, I guess, my position as a content creator being labeled by both YouTube and my audience as, hey, it's that girl that does TF2 content and nothing else. So, I love TF2. Do you think you're good at TF2? I think I'm better than most people think I am. So, a lot of my early content was focused on me screwing up, but I mean, you put me on Spy, I'm still gonna suck. Put me on Demo, gonna suck. Put me on NG, I'm gonna suck. I'd like to say I'm pretty decent at the rest of the cast of characters, especially Scout and Medic, just because of how much time I've put into them. I can pull off a decent aim soldier, not a pogoing surfing soldier, but I don't think I'm bad at TF2. I can definitely pull stuff off when I need to. I don't think I'm as great as, like, a competitive player that's been playing the game for years competitively. That's not who I am. Have you ever thought of stopping the creation of TF2 videos due to Valve's neglect and the toxic community? Yes! Yes, I have. I very much have. Listen, I've been around the TF2 community since around, I don't know, 2012. I haven't been here the whole time, but I can guarantee you that the community has changed from the experience of my own and people that I have talked to. The community has definitely changed, and I think a good part of that is because of the neglect Valve has put onto the game. I'm gonna be honest, you guys can throw pitchforks at me and set me on fire if you want. I don't like where the community's at. The community a few years ago was really solid. Like, it was really helpful, they were really positive, and it's definitely part of the cause, at the very least, is because of the neglect that the game has received. And I don't blame a lot of people. I'm frustrated over TF2's state. But at this point, I've just wanted to stand back and just say, it's not my fight, I give up, I don't wanna do this anymore. At some point I would like to, because there's not a whole lot of stuff to talk about, at least for the stuff that I make. I'm sure you can still get some live gameplay commentary stuff. That stuff theoretically never ends because of the way TF2 is as a game. When it's a PvP, anything can happen. Anything could keep happening. But when you're focusing on analysis and lore and discussion, there's only so much you can do unless you get into, like, oh, let's have a discussion about the community. Let's have a discussion about competitive, which are stuff that I don't feel, I guess, qualified to talk in, especially not more competitively geared stuff. There's a limit for the stuff that I do, and you guys probably know I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to talk about some of this stuff. But people just keep wanting TF2 videos, so you know what? You're getting the scraps. This is what you're getting, because unless you want me to basically remake videos from 3-4 years ago, you're getting stuff like the Powerhouse video, or the End of the Line retrospective, or my video about Mercenary Park that's going to be coming out at some point in the future. Here's a thumbnail. So that was my Q&A, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Tried to get everything as short as I could, but some of those I could not answer in a short time manner. So, if you do have questions, I'll be answering them below for like the first 24 hours. Just comment below if I didn't answer anything. Yeah, thank you guys for 200,000 subscribers. I hope we can keep going. I really hope the algorithm will love me. Thanks to my Patreon donators, Ahsoka, Duggobago, Julian Arnott, Sean O'Manny, That Monica, and Trinima. Special thanks to Damp Volcano 9204 for being my Patreon investor. You really help keep the channel going.